The room is full of individuals who generally care about each other, about their communities, about the state of Oregon, and about the people who call this place home.
Today was all about recognizing the vital role that local law enforcement plays in working with the FBI to fight crime. The FBI Director's Community Leadership Awards dates back to 1990. The National Women's Coalition Against Violence and Exploitation was recognized for helping more than 30,000 crime victims across Oregon, Washington, and California since 2012. Another notable accolade, the Law Enforcement Leadership Award. It was given to State and Police Department Chief Gwen Johns for her 30 years plus of service and longtime support of the Special Olympics. She serves as chair of the Awareness Committee and is a regional coordinator. She told us it felt great to have that work recognized.
Law enforcement are special advocates for the athletes. We're about inclusion and protecting others, and what an epitome of a population to protect and serve and advocate for.
7 others also earned exemplary service awards for going above and beyond in pursuit of justice.